On November 13th, Johnson & Johnson, Sonseal, DevUp, and Microsoft partnered to host the second annual Nurse Hack for Health, giving nurses and clinicians an opportunity to define new ways to save lives. Today, I talk with Chris Racines, nurse practitioner and previous chief nursing executive at Kaiser Permanente and Nurse Hack for Health hacker, and Molly McCarthy, national director for U.S. health providers and health plans at Microsoft and moderator for the pitch presentations and Nurse Hack for Health. Hi, Molly. Hi, Chris, and welcome to the Confessions of Health Geeks podcast. Molly, you're coming off of a big weekend. Do you mind sharing a little bit more about Nurse Hack for Health?
Sure. Thanks, Claire, for having us today. This past weekend was our second Nurse Hack for Health. This past weekend, we saw over 650 participants from across the globe, 8 countries, over 22 states, with more than 44 hours spent really networking, innovating, and hacking for the greater good. Really inspiring to see over 15 solutions and really nurses looking to expand their technology skills this past weekend, eager to share their creative ideas to improve patient communication, patient education, and nurses eager to join a community of innovators. And I was so pleased to meet Chris.
That's amazing. Those stats are truly amazing. Chris, do you mind doing a brief intro?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Chris Racines, and as of the last 4 weeks, I've actually left my role as the chief nurse executive for Kaiser Permanente. I'm a nurse practitioner by background and doctorally prepared. So I am now leading my own organization as an entrepreneur, and so happy to be here.
That's great. Well, I will have a few more questions for you later. But first, Molly, you participated as a moderator for the final pitches this weekend. Do you mind explaining what stood out to you the most during those pitches?
Sure, yeah. So this past hackathon, we really wanted to provide each of the 15 teams with not just judging or criteria as to what stood out to us, but really in addition, feedback for the team so that they could continue on to bring their solution really to fruition. So the weekend was all about creating a minimally viable product that can be rapidly applied in healthcare settings. I was a moderator of a group. There were 4 different pitches. Each team had 3 minutes to pitch. And then we actually spent about 15 to 20 minutes providing feedback, asking questions of the team. And one of the most outstanding pitches that I saw that really hit home both to me and I believe to many others on the call was an idea and solution from Chris and her team of nurses called Hello Harmony.
I actually heard a little bit about that pitch, Molly, from you earlier on Monday. So, Chris, I'd love for you to use this opportunity to tell our listeners just a little bit more about your solution area, your pitch, and what inspired you to be part of the Nurse Hack for Health.
Yeah, so I actually was not planning on participating in the Nurse Hack for Health because I hadn't heard about it. So the day before it actually was launched, I got an invite to a webinar and found out about it and immediately signed up and thought I would just join another group. Didn't think I was going to be kind of creating my own group, but I joined late. And so I was like, okay, I need to create my own group. And I thought about, the reason I joined it was really around how could I impact patients outside of the way, the patients that I touch every day. And it hit me that I needed to create a solution that I saw many people struggling with. And so about 3 years ago, I woke up, thought it was a normal morning, and proceeded to go into my daughter's room and found her lifeless in her bed. She had died of suicide. And so we found out later on that part of the reason behind that was she just had an immense sense of isolation, had some depression, and her friends knew about it and didn't know what to do. They didn't know how to have the conversation or let anybody know. And so, as I've been in my chief nursing executive position and seen my nurses dropping out because of their kids that are, having challenges, my own children having their challenges, I realized that there was just a solution that needed to be that needed to take care of this. And so what my team and I developed in under 24 hours, which was amazing, was a chat box based solution that takes the team through a scenario, like a real life scenario based on a friend that they've created. So they create the friend's characteristics, what the likes and dislikes are. And it's really a gamification. So you kind of go in there, just kind of talking to your friend. They respond to you the way that a normal friend would respond to you. But then it'll go into like a mental health scenario, and it'll help give you the words that you need to help really normalize suicide prevention and isolation in teens. And so it's really just interesting to see the uptake. We created the minimal viable product, and then we included teenagers in the development. I got all my kids and teens. We had all of the people on the group bring all their kids and teens. They're really the ones that gave us the idea for the solution. I knew what the problem was, but they gave us the idea for the solution. My daughter shared it with her friends on social media, and immediately we had like 50 to 100 teens reach out and ask, how can I find this on the Apple Store? I can't find it. And so I know that there's a need out there, and it's just been, it's something, something beautiful was born out of this adversity that happened to my family. And, my husband and I now have a new fire around like what our next steps and our, future trajectory is going to look like.
First of all, I just want to say thanks to Chris for sharing her story and really looking to help others, teenagers. I know that Chris, I had my two boys watch your pitch the other day on Sunday, the recording, because it's so powerful and so real in today's world with COVID-19. So thank you.
So what's next? What are your plans to further this?
So my business is actually an LLC. So I did not ever want to go any kind of investor route. I like to joke that I'm not a good employee. I don't like being told what to do. I really like to really focus on my customers, and that's it. I don't want to have anybody above me telling me what to do. And so I didn't have a lot of experience in this space in terms of investors. And so I actually had several advisors and investors reach out to me after the meeting to ask about how they could partner, how they could help. And I'm working right now with one of them who he's raised the largest investor around $60 million as a registered nurse. And so I'm working with him in terms of mentoring. And so next steps for me are I'm currently looking for a technical advisor / co-founder for Hello Harmony. I'm working on building the business plan and the team members that we'll need to, really create this in a larger way. I'm working with a marketing team around what marketing will look like around this. And I'm looking at really engaging with psychologists and others to make sure that we confine within the rules of HIPAA, really look at how we can utilize the data that we find to really improve the mental health and well-being. And I'm starting to reach out to partner with organizations like the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention around some of their campaigns that they're doing for teen suicide.
And all of this happens this weekend. So 24 hours, and now you have a whole plan of what you're going to do. I love that. And what about Nurse Hack for Health, Molly? This is the second annual hack. So what's next for next year, or how should listeners get involved?
In terms of Nurse Hack for Health, this is a commitment that we do alongside our partners, Johnson & Johnson, as well as Sanciel, and we're really, truly committed to bringing nurses and developers together to learn from one another and create solutions that are much needed in the marketplace. So we look forward to our third Nurse Hack for Health. And that will be May 14th to 16th, right after Nurses Week. So I hope that everyone listening will join us or check out nursehackforhealth.org to learn more. So thank you, Claire.
Great. Thank you so much, Molly. And thank you again, Chris, for being on the podcast and sharing your story.
So if you'd like to find out more, you can reach me on LinkedIn. I'm Chris Racinos, the one and only on LinkedIn at this moment. Or you can send me an email at chris@nurseleadernetwork.com.
Great. Thank you so much. And I will link those details below as well. Thank you all for watching. Please feel free to leave us questions or comments below, and check back soon for more content from the HLS industry team.